Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on PCBN with Women Dancing in the Storm. Here with your hosts, Lady Charles and Miss
Carole Joachin.
And today we are back with an exciting show. And mind, we are excited. An exciting but a very serious subject.
Yes.
We are going to talk about abuse in a relationship, more specifically abuse in a romantic relationship. And when is it time to leave that relationship? Because as of late we are hearing a lot of violence, a lot of women.
We've been hearing it for a while.
I say women, but it can also happen to men.
Men.
But a lot of women are dying because their significant others, for some reason or another, find that it was okay to take their lives. So today I thought it was very important to kind of bring this to our platform and kind of talk about it.
Because we are women.
We're women.
We're married women. I've been married for 33. And you've been together for 12.
Yes, that's married for 6 years.
6. So we think it's
when is it time? When do you all say it's time to actually walk away from a relationship, a toxic relationship, unhealthy relationship? What is a healthy relationship?
A manipulating relationship
versus a non-healthy relationship.
Non-healthy.
Different kind of abuse. Like emotional abuse. We're talking physical abuse. And we're also talking about financial abuse.
Yes.
Because that's very important.
Financial.
And we also can talk
children in the middle.
With children in the middle, of course, we know that they are very important. They are part of the family, and that does affect them a whole lot.
And the side of the wife, the side of the husband,
and also family. And we also can talk about psychological abuse. And so today we're going to talk about how do we dance and these typical situations. Comment nous ka danser dans situation difficile ça yo as women,
how to get out when it's time. When it's too much for you to handle, when it's too much for you, and sometimes you can see something going to happen, but you still stay.
You stay in that relationship. Why do we stay?
Why some women stay?
Well, I say some women stay in a relationship out of guilt. Sometimes they stay out of fear because financially they're not stable enough to stand on their own. So they choose to stay, and out of fear of not knowing what tomorrow will bring. What happens to me if I leave?
Fear losing the house,
and their
losing
children,
the car,
custody of the
separation between the two parents. How we're gonna share the kids? Just the whole thing.
Yes, and I find that a lot of women stay in different type of abusive relationship or toxic relationship, mainly because they're scared for their children to grow up without a father, or vice versa. The dad stays because they don't feel like they're capable enough to take care of a child. And especially in the island community, we as islanders, the men, a lot of them feel like it's the role of a woman to take care
of the household, the kids, go to work, clean, do the laundry, cook, everything in general. It's a big job, okay?
Yeah, it is.
I don't think every man understand. I know when a man wake up every morning, start your car and go to work, I know that you provide for the family. But the woman have to go to work. The woman have to take the kids to school. I think 10% of men take their kids to school. The woman have to do the whole thing. Cleaning the house, make the dinner, make breakfast, drag the kids out of the house. I think some of the women who stay in the relationship, even though the relationship is going down, they want the relationship to stay. They want their family to stick together.
Why do you think that they're willing to stay in an abusive relationship? Meaning the woman. And for me, hold on to that question. For me, I feel, and this is just my opinion, men majority island men stay in relationship where women are abusive to them because they feel like they are unable to take care of the children and provide what a mother can provide to a child. So they stay in that relationship. But that relationship mean while they thinking that it's okay for them to stay in there, it's very detrimental to the child, although they think that they're doing something that's beneficial to the child.
It's not.
Because psychologically the children are seeing everything that's going on within that household. We're going to take a short break. This is PCBN with Woman Dancing in the Storm. We'll be right back. Welcome back to PCBN with Woman Dancing in the Storm. I am so excited to be here. As we mentioned before, we're talking about a subject that is so important to our community, not only the islanders, but the American community, or everyone in general. Everyone is concerned because this thing that we're talking about happened to every single community, so no one is exempt. And we have our special guest with us. Today we have Miss Rose from Haiti En Clairté, and we have Miss Carole Joachin, and yours truly, your host, Lady Charles. We are excited again to be back, and we are going to be talking about abuse and relationship, and what women goes through, and also men. And the reason I want to point out men, I feel like sometimes our community is just biased.
Yes.
Because we talk just only about women. And I
left the men behind.
Yes, and I understand woman goes through it. It's more common for a woman to get abused, but it also happens to men. I'm not here to be the devil's advocate. I just want to make it equal playing field. So I'm going to give the floor to Miss Rose, our guest. Since Miss Carl was here earlier, we already shared some thoughts about everything that's going on and the community between men and women, and when is it time to leave a relationship, when enough is enough, is one punch enough, is two punch enough,
Is 3 punch,
is one curse word enough to leave a relationship, is one lie enough to leave a relationship. What is your breaking point? What is the deal breaker for you as a woman? How do you dance in that storm? And you may have danced in it and you choose to stay. How did you deal with it?
Yes.
What was your solution? What route did you take? So this is what we're actually talking about today. And you know what? It's been it's a heavy subject, but it's an important subject that we need to address because too many women lose their lives to domestic violence. I'm seeing that happen all the time. Or physical appearance has changed because someone decided to pour acid. Someone decided to take out a knife and just kind of cut the other one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, yes, the other person goes to jail, but at the end of the day, they still have their lives. So, when is it time for you to run? Miss Rose.
That's a good question.
When is it time for you to run?
You know what? I have not been in the position, to be honest. I don't think that I can actually judge based on, what I've seen.
Right.
But as a woman, I know for a fact that certain situation, you have red flags. And I think that a lot of time we call ourselves in love. Like, oh my gosh, because of the kids, I don't think I can do it. But my thing is, are you living for you or for the kids?
Yes.
So if you're no longer alive, what happens to the kids? Because the men can get up and go however they want to. Some women definitely can do too. But the thing is, for us as a mom, the moment you notice that the red flag starting as far as cursing, disrespecting, I'm gonna do what I wanna do when I wanna do it, as far as alcohol. The moment you notice that, someone goes to alcohol the moment they want to start a fight with you, that's a definite red flag.
That's a red flag.
But for some people in relationships, they've seen it from the start.
From the start.
But the fact that they want to get married, I want to be the woman that, tell myself that I want to be in a relationship. So they don't care what happened. They don't care when it happens. So they allow it to happen just so they can tell everyone that I'm a part of you.
Yes.
I'm a part of your culture. You have a husband, right?
Yes.
So I do too.
Yes.
But behind it all,
they're living a lie.
They
are living a lie. And is it worth it? Is it worth your well-being to just for society's sake?
Yes.
To just be miserable. Because I always say to people, if you're not healthy, there's no way you can love someone if you're unhealthy.
No.
And being a mom, and I always say this, and sometimes my husband, he lacked the understanding of where I'm coming from because he's such a great dad.
Yes.
But at the same time, as a mom, you need that time for yourself.
Yes.
And I say this to not just mom, but to wives or to women everywhere.
Girlfriends and
whoever who's in a relationship. There's no way you can love someone and you can give fully to someone if you yourself, you're not well enough.
Not happy.
There's no way. There's no way. If you're missing, you can't be present.
No, you can't.
You cannot be present. If you're not a part of the happiness, then you can't be happy. Because a lot of time, as long that the outsiders can see that they're happy, that's all that matters. But deep down, these people go to sleep crying, just so they can show the world, I have an amazing life, I have an amazing relationship. Who are you lying to, sis? Let's be real.
You're lying to your own self.
Yes. So with that said, I know we've talked about different type of abuse, and physical abuse is the most common, but you got emotional abuse.
Yes, mentally.
Mental abuse. For me, emotional is a big thing
abuse.
because when you are being emotionally abused, you tend to lose yourself.
Yeah.
And you can look in the mirror, you don't even know who you are anymore. Because you're just so lost. Is that worth your life?
For some people think it is.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. And I guess today I'm here to say that it's never worth it. Because whether you're here or not, life goes on.
Life goes on.
Life goes on. We've seen it happen many, many times. There's only one you. And life goes on over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So and you got emotional abuse, you got physical abuse, and you got some people who are just so narcissistic, they just manipulate you.
Their way or no way.
To make you think you are in a good place, There's nobody out there for you. I've been married for 33 years. So, it's not like it's something, oh, every day I wake up, I have a glass of wine. Oh, everything is fine. Oh, everything is so beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy. No. It was like, I have to fix this. I have to fix that. I have to put this together. I have to grab myself here. I have to grab my husband. One time my husband left the house. He come back by himself.
Yeah.
I didn't go say, hey, you need to come back, blah, 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 blah. But sometimes it's a time to leave. You're gonna have to leave. Because if you don't, all those red flags, abusing mentally, suddenly throwing a glass of water in your face,
Red flag.
throw a bottle of wine across the kitchen, and some people even shoot on the wall. Some people, I mean, my God,
And I want
food.
to chime in. It's not necessary.
Physically drown you, he drive you crazy. My dear Lord.
And you know, I hear this all the time. I hear it on social media. I hear it everywhere. Because j'aime ton garçon dit il a besoin 2 fois.
But they say
I hear it all the time, and for some reason I find women putting themselves in that predicament. I may say I don't, and there's not only one way. They don't have to just speak it. Someone's action can tell you that they don't want.
They don't want you. Get out.
A lot of time in our community, I think that the men, like you said, they don't have to say anything. Their action says it all. Like, let's say that we married, but you think that it's okay for you to go and just be with someone else, and you're gonna tell me you're not giving me enough. Then if I'm not giving you enough, how about you tell me what would you like? Because you have to remember, as a woman, we supposed to have 110% of everything that a man like, right? The way we look, the way we dress, the way we cook, the way we take care of the kids, the way we teach, the way we become a doctor, nurses. What do you do beside providing? I need you mentally, I need you physically, I need you emotionally. So the moment you feel that I'm going down under and that was not the person that I was, how about you remind me of myself? I don't want you to lose yourself. I love you. As you know, as your husband, I noticed that things are changing. What can I do to help you?
But here's what I'm asking, Rose. If and Mami Carole, if that person is not giving you that, and you notice that, when do you catch yourself?
But
to recognize, to value yourself enough to say, you know what? I'm worth much more than this.
Yes.
I want better for me.
And my kids.
Is one punch enough? Est-ce qu'un coup de poing assez?
Deux coups de poing.
Est-ce que 2 coups de poing assez? Is one slap enough to say, you know what? I'm not gonna let this happen again. Whether I have kids or not, because at the end of the day, the children, they're following your lead. When you have a lot of kids that grow up and they're emotionally damaged, and you're the parents, you're like, well, I raised you well. No, you did not. Because when your husband or when your wife was slapping you, vice versa.
Sometimes they're slapping the mother, then slap the kids too. To tell them,
you
because
don't do anything.
sometimes the kids screaming, say, hey, leave my mother alone, leave my mother alone. But there's something they call pretending. You see, some women are pretending to be, I am a married woman. I am living with my husband. I have my family intact. But guess what? You are not. Because you lying to yourself. You lying to your kids. You lying to your family. You lying to your husband family. Because you're living a double life.
That's what I'm saying.
To keep your relationship as a married woman, as a happy woman, as a woman who has everything, when you don't even close to be a woman happy.
So my question is, again, when do you say enough?
But some of them does.
Is enough. Or you're just gonna stay and lose your life like the next woman, and then the next one, and then the next one. There are times when we're dancing in the storm, whatever the situation is. And today it happens to be domestic abuse. It doesn't have necessarily.
And we hear it almost every day.
Every day. And for me, as a Haitian woman, as someone who grew up in a Haitian community, I'm hearing it a lot. And not just Haitian per se, but the islanders, for some reason or another, they think it's okay to hit.
For a man to beating you up, for a man to rip off your clothes.
But you have to understand that that's what they were raised with. I think they trained us to be a maid instead of train us to be a woman.
God.
So when all of our lives we've been teach that, oh, you gotta know how to ballet de la cour, you gotta know how
to make the bed,
you gotta know. It's kind of like they training you to go and be somebody's
perfect maid.
So, okay, ladies, I agree with both of what you're saying, both of you are saying, but when is it that you, as a new generation, when do you put a stop to it? When do we say enough is enough?
When you say enough is enough, and it's when you recognize who you are, what you want, how you want to raise your kids, what you want tomorrow for your life, how you want to live your life. Because all those red flags, everything you see, you stay, or some of the women don't. Let me tell you, some women get out, but some women don't because they want that perfect, how did they call that? Perfect imagination.
Oh,
they want that perfect imagination. They want that beautiful candles. The table is filled with candles and expensive food and expensive this, expensive that, and this is my husband. No, it is not that. What's the matter is, it's for tomorrow. How you raise your kids, where you go with them, how your life gonna turn out to be. Because when you don't take decision after all those red flags, now they cut you with the knife, they cut you with the machete, they put you in the black bags, black garbage bags, and throw you in the trash.
And then what?
Put the woman in the suitcases.
And then what?
And the suitcases.
And then what? And then it's over.
Your life is over. Now you don't know where your children are. You don't know who's going to raise them. Your husband is in jail for killing you. They won't allow him to take care of your kids. So now the kids gonna always buy foster care or your grandparents or whoever capable of taking care of those children.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And I just want to remind you all that you are watching PCBN with Women Dancing in the Storm with your host, Lady Charles. And as we're saying, it is important to put yourself first. Put you first in every situation. Yeah. It's important for your mental health to be well. It's important for your physical health to be well. It's important for your financial health to be well. And what I want to say, you see, I keep saying financial. I'm saying financial because it matters. And yes, your husband is supposed to be a provider.
Oh my God, you can be a provider.
But it's always important. It's always great. It's always great for
my life.
Yes, but it's always great.
You can be a better provider. When things get worse,
that's what I was about to say.
You see all the red flags and you refuse to give up. You can be a better provider.
I think that's what's going on nowadays.
Oh my
Women
God.
are so stuck on the man is the provider. Why can't we both be providers?
Providers.
I do not like stand against a man
like
that
a traditional marriage.
I don't stand against that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, what if your husband fall? Who's gonna rise?
What if your husband gets sick?
Yes.
Something, because anything can happen in life.
Yes.
Because you don't know what's coming in life. You don't know what's going. You don't know what's coming in. You don't know what's going out. Anything can happen. You can be the provider for the whole thing. Pay the rent, pay the phone, electricity, water bills, everything else, including household things, whatever, clothes, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. So my point to all this is this, okay? Everyone, be self-sufficient.
Yes.
Be educated.
For you.
And it's okay if you don't have a bachelor. It's okay if you don't have a doctorate degree.
Degrees.
But put something in your hands. Lord forbid something happen. You
can
have
do
a
it.
way to go.
Yes.
Don't depend
On
on
no one.
just one person, because you never know where life is going to take you. So educate yourselves. Be somebody. Be productive as a wife, not just a wife, as a woman, as an individual,
As a mom.
Yes,
As
as
a
a
mom.
person.
but above all this title, you are a person. As a person, be self-sufficient.
There's something I would like to mention. I realize that when I find out some stuff about married couples, some men pretend to be the provider. Their wife cannot go use the bathroom. Their wives cannot go to the food store. Their wives cannot go to the market or to the store because you cannot go out without my permission.
Control.
This I almost forgot that. This control thing. Yeah, when I start dating my husband have the key to the house. So I couldn't have the key to the house.
You couldn't?
No.
Oh.
So one day I get on top, he went to work and I get on top of the table.
dying.
I got on top of the table with my heels, top here, something here, and I sit like this on top of the table, waiting for him. When we got home, I said, tonight, you going to give me the key to this damn house.
What was the reason behind not giving the key?
The reason behind that, I feel like he put me to jail.
Oh.
I feel like I'm not allowed to do anything without his presence. Those are red flags.
Yes.
When your boyfriend or your husband is stopping you to go to the store, you cannot go food shopping. You cannot go to the market. You cannot go to TJ Maxx. You cannot go to Marshall's. You cannot go anywhere. You cannot go to the restaurant with your friends.
You gotta be able to be free.
What is it you cannot
And
understand?
in a relationship, you need to have trust.
Yeah.
Okay, trust is the foundation of
But I think a lot of
relationship.
time people allow it from the beginning.
They allowed it.
So then later on, how can you
It
change
become
that?
too much.
You see what
They
I'm
can't-
saying?
They can.
They are so desperate to
Desperate.
submit in a relationship. Like the moment the guy says, you can't do this, oh, no problem.
No problem.
You can't do that. Oh,
Oh,
yes, sure.
yes.
I don't do this. I don't do that. Then later on, once they start meeting other people, they're like, wait a minute, you do this by yourself? And they're like, yeah. But my husband don't let me. And then that's the moment they realize that, wait a minute, I'm really not living my life. I thought I was the golden
stuck.
wife.
Yes, you
So
know.
technically, I'm really not. I'm
You're not a
stuck.
golden wife.
But not a lot of women nowadays want to hear that, because a lot of women, there's so much for, I want to stay home and my husband does everything and I'm just going to follow. Well, good for you. How about if something happens?
I love that. That deserves a clap. Good for you. Absolutely.
Dear.
Yes.
There's nothing. I always tell people, the moment you hear good for you, dear, I do
Yes.
not mean that.
Good for you, dear.
If I put
Yes.
the word dear behind it, it's
Yes.
fake. I just don't know what else to tell you. Obviously, I'm fed up with your situation.
Yes.
Because a lot of time you try to tell people, like, this is not the way of life.
Yes.
This is
Guess
not the
what?
way of life.
You become the problem. Like,
But sometimes people don't want to hear.
that's fine. Good
This
for them.
is not the way of life. There's another way to live your life beautifully
here-
without those
here's what I
crap
would say.
on it.
Okay, here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say, ladies. A lot of times, when people seems, I'll say seem because deep down it's not really the reality of it
The
all.
reality of
You have fear,
Yes.
uncertainty.
Yes.
If I
You're
leave,
scared all the time.
what will happen to me?
Mm-hmm.
If I leave, will I be able to feed my children?
Yes.
If I leave, will I lose custody of my kids?
Oh my God.
If I leave,
Mhm.
what are people gonna think of me? If I leave, oh my God, I have a failed marriage, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring religion into it. I'm not saying Christianity, but I'm saying religion. If I leave, church folks are gonna judge me.
Guess
I
what?
have
They
a
judge. They
failed
judging you
marriage.
anyway.
If I leave, oh my God, who am I gonna find a man who's gonna take me with 2 or 3 kids?
You can't go like that in life. This is not life.
And that's why a lot of people fail to live a unhealthy and toxic relationship.
Sick relationship.
And what I really want to say, you have different organization, ladies, that could actually help you
Yes.
maneuver through different situations like that. You have shelters, you have protective services, you have non-for-profit organizations.
There's a lot of help out there.
There are a lot of help out there. So I want to put this message out there. You don't ever have to be afraid to leave unhealthy relationship. And even when you feel like there is no one there for you, I guarantee you there is someone
There will be
who's
someone
willing to hear you,
Yes.
who's willing to listen to you and help you. Okay? Don't be afraid to make a move, a first step when you feel like your life is in danger. The person might not kill you physically, but internally they may just kill you. They may not kill you with a gun or a knife, but health-wise, you may end up with cancer. You may end up with losing your mind.
Your brain.
You may end up in a psychiatric hospital. So be mindful of your mental health. Be mindful of who you are in a relationship, and don't settle for anything less. Once again, we are here on PCBN with Woman Dancing in the Storm with your host Lady Charles and our guests Miss Rose and Miss Carole. And again, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back. And I just want to thank my sponsors, Woman's Rouge Boutique, Skincare, Limina, and Charles Realty. And of course, let's not forget Guardian of Infants Daycare and PEYCO Venue. Thank you so much for making this show possible. I will see you next time.